Hi everyone! Today we'll talk about arrays. So, what is an array? We know that we have variables where we can store our data from the user, and these variables could accept string or integer or any other data types. But we also have this what we call array, wherein think of it as a cabinet wherein instead of a single variable that is just like a box that has one large container, think of it as a cabinet wherein you have drawers. So these drawers are what we call the index of an array. So let's try to look at an example of an array. So here it is. We have here an int x and followed by this one. So we are declaring the int x as an array. This symbolizes an array. So basically it is a single dimension, meaning it only have rows. We'll talk about multi-dimension in the future videos. So the int x here, instead of saying int x is equal to 1, we are declaring this as just a variable, but over here we are declaring it as a variable as an array. So we put values in an array using curly braces followed by the values of each index. So we call this values, but behind that we have index for each value, which starts with 0. Remember, it always starts with 0. Any array will start with 0, followed by 1, 2, and 3. That's why this is what we use. Indices or index is what we use to call our values. So with this one, when we run this, what do you think will be the output? So let's try to run it here. Let's just compile it first. And then we have 2. Why is that so? Because we are printing out the x with an index of 1. Remember, this is an index and not a value. So when we say x index 1, we will see which of these values had an index of 1, which is 0 and 1. So the value of the index 1 is 2. So let's try, what if I want to output the 1? I have to put here its index, which is 0, and let's try it 1 here. And there we have it. Okay, so what if I want to output everything around here? Normally, you can output it the way we usually do it. 0, 1, 2, 3. And that way, we can have our 1, 2, 3, 4 here. But what if I don't want, this is 1 to 100 and I don't want to repeat it all over again? That is the time that we will be use the repetition statements. And this is where the looping really helps. So let's try to create a for loop here, a simple for loop. So let's say we have for int I or index is equal to 0. Remember, it always starts with 0. And then index is less than 4 index plus plus. Okay, so basically we want to output all of this. So to be able to do that, we need to put this one inside this one. So this way, the index will iterate and until the index became 3. Okay, so which is less than 4. Okay, so we have here, just compile it, then run it, and there we have it. We have the same output. Okay, so what if I wasn't very careful about this one? That, oh, I put less than or equal to 4. So what happens now? Okay, it gives us an error, which is array index out of bounds. That means you are calling an index of that array which is not actually present. So that is what happens when we are not careful with our programming. So be careful when indexing, and it's just pretty simple since this is only a single dimensional array. So try to play with it, play around with it. But what if I don't know what is the length or the how many elements an array has, and I want to loop around it, but I don't want this to be static or fixed? What can I do? So don't worry, we have what we call a length method, wherein we will just call the array and call its length. So this means we are calling how many elements does this array have. So when we say 1, 2, 3, 4, that means it will give us 4. But our index is just until 3. So if this is 4, you should use less than. Again, if you want to use less than or equal, of course, you have to use this kind of procedure. Okay, so let's try this one out. And there we have it. We have the same output, and the one that we have used a while ago without the equal sign, it's just less than. There we have it. Same output. But this time it will work even if we add another here, 10, 20, and there we have it. Okay, so now what if I want to put words in it? Can I actually put words in it? Of course you can. You can put words, letters, names, country, and anything that you may need in the future. Okay, so as long as you actually have same data type. Sorry for that. Okay, so let's try putting it here and converting it into string. And there we have it. And there we go. So hopefully you learned something about array, single dimension, and we'll talk about multi-dimensional next video. Okay? Happy coding!